Hello and welcome to Into the Inklands with Hobbies and Happiness. My name's Dan.
And I'm Jim. Today we're going over the top 10 cards from the set.
All right, so at this point, you hopefully would have seen our set reviews of each and every color from Into the Inklands. We got six. That's six. 6 different videos for 6 different colors for Into the Inklands. And we did it. We got there. We went through each and every card, and that was fun.
Yeah, it was.
I always enjoy doing that, even though it takes a lot of work, but it's fun. It's really fun to... the thing that I like most about it is being able to sit down and then just go over every single card.
Yes, learn about all the cards.
That's the thing. Like, I feel like I can go into, and Jim probably even did this when some of these videos, but going into it not knowing what it is, and then just sitting down and reading the card, and then going through everything, and it's a great time. And in all honesty, as a TCG player, I highly recommend you do that. Don't just watch us do it, don't watch someone else do it, but sit down and do it yourself. And watching videos like us go over the cards gives you that opportunity so you can look at each and every card. So it's a great time. Again, if you haven't seen that, we'll be sure to post those videos down below in the description and throughout the video as well. All right, well, hey, do you like Disney Lorcana and Disney Lorcana content? If you do us a favor, help out the algorithm, hit that like button, and subscribe to the channel, and turn on bell notifications so you can be notified when we release more Disney Lorcana content in the future. After this video, we will be doing a gameplay video of these starter decks from set 3. We've gone over them a couple times, gonna play them a bit more, but we're gonna get you some of that gameplay so you can see how the decks play against each other. All right, just like Jim said, this is our top 10 list, our top 10 cards from the set. Now, we need to let you know kind of how we rated these, okay? So this is not like our totally objective top 10 cards. So we did our set review and then we just took the top 10 and then just did that. No, this is like our personal top 10 and also kind of which ones we liked as well thrown in there. So we each approach this list a little bit differently, as you will see. So without any further ado, let's just jump right into it. So we each have one honorable mention card to talk about. I think I have to go first with this honorable mention, okay? Because Jim's honorable mention, in all honesty, doesn't make any sense to me, but that's just me. So, all right, so my honorable mention as we get into it here is Aurelian Gyro Center. Aurelian Gyro Center. Honestly, this is one of my favorite cards from the set, but I had to cut it. Yeah. I had to cut it at the last second just because it didn't make it to the top 10 for my list. Yeah. So Aurelian Gyro Sensor, inkable 2-cost item in Sapphire with the ability Seeking Knowledge. Whenever one of your character's quests, you may look at the top card of your deck. Put it on either the top or the bottom of your deck. I talked about this card at length in the Sapphire video. But, I mean, my favorite card to pair this up with is going to be Ariel Who's It Collector. Yep. But again, even without Ariel, you just think about pairing this up with any, if you have 4 different characters on board, you quest 4 different times, you're looking at potentially 4 new cards. Yep. And then you're drawing, then you know what you're gonna draw. I think, in all honesty, I think Aurelian Gyro Sensor is going to be one of the cards that is the most slept on in set 3. Oh, yeah. And it only costs 2. This is a very low cost for this effect and is very, very, very powerful. Yeah. So, one of my favorite cards from the set, but this is my honorable mention for our top 10. Now,
that card was also in, I think, around my 12th spot as well. So when I was cut down from like top 15, I was like, oh yeah, all right, this card has to go.
Yeah, it made it on my initial list, and I'm like, I gotta cut this one. Yeah. So,
really good card.
So this is my honorable mention, Aurelian Gyro Center. Jim, can you tell the people listening and watching, what is your card on your honorable mention list?
I actually have a physical copy of the card because that's how good it is. Yeah. And because, we got a couple boxes. Yep. So the card is Jafar, Striking Illusionist. Yep. The Jafar from the set. Yep, the Jafar. The one that everyone has gone crazy over.
I have to ask you though, Jim.
Defining.
Now, actually, before I ask you, can you read the card for everybody?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's read the card.
So he is a 4/5/1 for Inkable 7 with Shift 5. He has Evasion and Power Beyond Measure. During your turn, while this card is exerted, whenever you draw a card, gain 1 lore.
So, okay, now my question is, how did this only make your honorable mention and not your top 10?
So, after we did the Amethyst video,
yes,
okay, Dan and I were talking.
Yes, we were.
After we talked about the card so much.
A lot, which we did. A lot.
Yeah, so we just talked about it, and like, I was talking to Dan, I'm like, all right, well, when we do the top 10 video, we're just going to put it on honorable mention. And he kind of, I want to say he like semi-agreed, right? It was just like, he's like, I don't even want the card on my list, you know? So I was just like, all right, we'll just honorable mention it and just, we're done speaking about the card. And so.
Because I was not the biggest fan.
Yeah.
Originally.
The card is phenomenal.
It's so good.
It's super meta-defining. It's so powerful.
It is.
You know, even if you're not going turbo with the card, it's just like, okay, this is still ridiculously good.
Even without a whole new world, it is still a very powerful card. Still a very powerful card.
Yeah. And so I didn't want to put it on my top 10 list because I was just like, okay, everyone knows that the card's broken. It's stupidly broken.
Yeah.
I'm not putting it on the list. It's a tier 0, essentially.
Yes.
It's not in top 10. It's in top 0 card. You know?
Yeah.
So that's why I had to make an honorable mention. I didn't want to put it on the list.
And it's funny he did that.
I know.
It's to me, it's hilarious he did that. Because I remember having that conversation, and my comment was, I didn't feel like you could leave it off of a top 10 list. That was my position at the time.
Watch me.
And he did. So it's just funny to me that he made that you made that honorable mention.
So am I trolling people more by not putting it on the list because they're like, the card's so good? I'm like, yeah, I know.
I think so.
I'm not putting it on the list.
I think so. So Jim's honorable mention starts off with a bang with Jafar striking a lot illusionist. All right. So now the actual top 10 list, and I think we're going to do this in a sort of a snake fashion.
Yep.
All right. So I'll start off with my number 10. We'll go to Jim's 10, and then Jim will do his 9, and then we will proceed forthwith. So I love that word, forthwith. All right. So my number 10. This is kind of an interesting one, but. This is a super powerful card, in my opinion. It is Mr. Smee, Bumbling Mate. Inkable, 2 cost, 3/3/2 Storyborn ally pirate with the ability, oh dear, dear, dear. At the end of your turn, if this character is exerted and you don't have a captain character in play, deal 1 damage to this character. It's not an insane thing about this card, but you don't even have to try that hard to break it. Break it in big scare quotes. Because there's Captain Hook Forceful Duelist at the 1-drop slot. So you already have a 1-drop card that's heavily played in Steel in Captain Hook Forceful Duelist. And that's the only card you need for a 3/3/2 that's not taking any damage just for questing.
Yep.
That's powerful. And that 1-drop, when challenging, because he's a 1/2/1 with Challenger +2.
Yep.
Crazy. I think Mr. Smee is going to be one of the cards that sees the most play in Steel. One of.
Super nice stat line. So much synergy with the captains to be able to stop that damage from happening. It's a phenomenal card. It's super crazy.
Yeah. So that's that. Mr. Smee, Bumbling Mate is my number 10. My number 10 from my list. So Jim, what is your number 10?
All right, so if you guys have watched the other videos, you know I'm not really sure how to evaluate location cards, right? I'm just terrible with these things.
Yes.
But this one has has just called to me so much.
It is.
The Sorcerer's Tower.
Please explain, Jim.
So, all right, Sorcerer's Tower is a 3-cost inkable location. It has 2 move and 7 willpower. Characters named Magic Brooms can just move here for free.
Yes.
They're just walking over to their spot like Mickey tells them to do. I don't know if that's what he does. And then it also has characters here get +1 lore.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's kind of just like I'm just going to start bringing out a bunch of brooms. We have how many now? 1,700 different brooms now?
There's a lot of brooms.
So, it's just like we're going to establish a board. And when we drop this card, it's just Well, that's a lot more lore than your opponent was expecting.
Yeah.
It can just out of nowhere be like, all right, I know I have a whole nother turn, and then he drops the Sorcerer's Tower, and the game's just over.
Yeah.
You know?
That's a card that's going to take a lot of setup, is very slow.
It is.
And it's also a location that's just going to be like, whatever.
But if you look...
It's also whatever. Like,
if you look at the Magic Broom decks, right? We have the Sorcerer, we have the Fairy Godmother, we even have the 7-drop Dr. Facilier for...
the Fairy Godmother. The Fairy Godmother,
To
Mystic
really
Armorer.
be able to grind out these games, it's super grindy. You're going to have so much advantage over your opponent, and it's kind of just... ends the game.
All right, I'm challenging Jim right now to build this list.
I don't know if it's going to be
This
good.
is a list. Well, my challenge now is for you to build a list and optimize it around that broom package and see what you can do with it.
Yeah.
See what you can do to make it really good and optimized. Yeah. So, is this another Jim Troll of number 10 card?
I like it. Yes. I like the card. I love the brooms.
It's Jim's list. He can do what he wants with
it. Fight me.
All right, so that's your number 10. Yep. What's your number 9, Jim?
My number 9 is Cursed Merfolk. It is a Emerald card. It's a 1-cost 0/1, so there's no way for it to deal damage. Is there? It's got 2 lore as well. So, Poor Soul. Whenever this creature is challenged, each opponent chooses and discards a card. Mm-hmm. It's an instant 1-for-1, but it's a 1-cost that's now questing for 2.
Yeah, it's in 95% of circumstances, it's a 1-for-1.
Yeah.
Because this is one of those where I don't want to challenge because I don't want to discard a card. Yep. But how many times am I going to do that before they quest with that card for how much lore now?
Yeah.
And so this is, and again, this plays to the color Emerald, and what the color Emerald does is it plays those mind games. Yeah. And it really, it forces your opponent who's playing against this card to answer the question, do I just take you out and lose a card? Yep. Any card that does a 1-for-1 is already good. Is already good. And that is what does it. Sure, it may not take out your card on board, but what did you have to discard to it?
Yep.
And so the only downside is you get to choose which card it is, but it's still a card. It's still a card.
Even if they use removal on it to get around its effect, it's still a card.
It's still a card. So, and again, if this is turn 1, your opponent, you got how many cards in hand?
Ooh.
And so it's like, I don't want to do it, so I gotta wait, and then they're questing for, at that point, you've already quested twice with it, and that's 4 lore.
Yeah.
Game's quarter over now.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
So, all right, that is Cursed Merfolk, Jim's number 9. My number 9 is The Boss is on a Roll. Really like this card. The Boss is on a Roll is an inkable 3-cost action song, rarity. Has the ability to look at the top 5 cards of your deck, put any number of them on the top or the bottom of your deck in any order, gain 1 lore. That's the thing for me that does this. It's 3 mana, it's 3 ink, gain a lore. Mm-hmm. My favorite thing to do with this is Ursula, Deceiver of All, can sing this. Mm-hmm. And if she does this, you are potentially looking at 10 cards and gaining 2 lore. That's the... Ursula, Deceiver of All is an insane card, but her singing this is really, really good.
Even just having any card sing this.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at how many cards, and then you're in Amethyst, so you have no ways of drawing cards in Amethyst, right? So you know what you're setting up your draws. Yeah. This is a very powerful card.
You even think about this with the 1-drop Cinderella and Amber, and you're just like,
yes.
Turn 2? Okay.
That's true.
Don't mind if I do.
Because again, Cinderella Ballroom Sensation, 1 cost, but she quests for 1. Yeah. So, and we said this in our set review, is when you sing a song, you are giving up questing, not with this card.
Yep.
You sing, you gain the lore, so you still get that benefit of questing with the card.
Yep.
And then,
the card's crazy.
This is a great card. It's a great card, and I'm excited for this to see play. Mm-hmm. And I want to build deck around this card. I love this card. Mm-hmm. So that is The Boss is on a Roll. My number 9. All right, so now it goes to number 8. All right, so my number 8, I really, really like this card. This is Helga Sinclair. Femme Fatale. Uninkable, 5 cost, 4/4/2 Floodborn Villain. Super rare rarity. Has 2 abilities. Shift 3, so you can put her out on turn 3 if you have, let's say, I don't know, Morph, Space Goo, or there's multiple other Helgas, Sinclairs in this set that you can shift onto. And then also the ability, this changes everything. Whenever this character quests, you may deal 3 damage to chosen opposing character. 3 damage is a lot. My favorite thing to pair this up with is again, anything in steel, but particularly Tinkerbell Giant Fairy.
Oh, yeah.
Any, like that, or grab your swords. Any board-wide ping effect, and then you have Helga Sinclair. Okay, now that's 4 damage or 5 damage, depending upon. You're pretty much taking out a lot of things, And so, especially in these 1v1 matches, I love Emerald Steel with Helga Sinclair. I've already got a deck. I need to tweak it, need to optimize it, but I love everything about this card. Love everything about Helga Sinclair. So that is my number 8. All right, Jim. What's your number 8?
What? Honestly, one of the best cards in the set. Well, I guess it can't be if it's only number 8 for me. But I got Madame Medusa. She is a 4/4/1 for 6 uninkable, and she has the ability, when you play this character, banish chosen opposing character with 3 attack or less. So, I mean, there's a lot of cards out there that have 3 attack or less, especially a very sad beast.
Yes.
So not only is he sad, but Medusa's going to make him even sadder when they don't get that value draw.
Correct. Yep.
So, I mean, this card just takes care of so many problematic cards out in the game.
Yep.
Even the smaller ones, like even if we're talking about Cinderella, or if you got Ursula Deceiver out, and they're kind of just waiting to get off whatever additional effects they're able to, or value, and you're just like, Medusa, get rid of it.
I want to see this card paired up with Sapphire and the debuffs. The minus X strength to say,
or the legendary Kita as well.
Yep, legendary Kita as well. But I see more. We see more of these effects in Sapphire than we do Amber. Because I think Kita was like one of those. This is one that breaks the color pie, because this is an effect we normally see in a different color. We're now bringing it to Amber, right? Yeah. But there's plenty of effects in Sapphire that give characters minus X strength.
The 2-drop distract action, which is -2 attack and then draw a card.
Yep, you've got that. You've got a Scar that doesn't see a lot of play, but it's on play -5 strength. Yep. So there's multiple effects, and again, like being able to take out, I don't know, like Hercules.
Oh, yeah.
Like a Hercules or a Cinderella Stout-Hearted. Anything that's got a high strength, it just makes Madame Medusa so much better.
I don't know.
She's already great. She's already great.
Do we have any items that stay out on board and will reduce strength?
Ooh.
I'm not sure.
I don't think so. I think they're usually buffs. That would be huge.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You have an item out. If we don't have one, I'm sure we will get one.
Fishnet.
Fishnet.
You just like throw
it. That's a.
They get all tangled up.
I'm sure we'll see something like that in the future. But that would be huge.
Yeah.
And so far, I think Madame Medusa is seeing a lot more play than Lady Tremaine is. And Lady Tremaine, Imperious Queen, is already a phenomenal card. Yeah. Already a great card. I love them.
I like how they both kind of get rid of each other. Medusa can get rid of Lady Tremaine. Yeah. And if Medusa's the only thing on your board, the Lady Tremaine's like, get rid of yourself.
Yep. Just pairing them both up. Oof, that's kind of scary.
Yep.
So, all right, that was your number 8, correct?
Ooh, yes.
All right, what's your number 7?
Number 7, Hydra, Deadly Serpent. Is a 6/5/2 uninkable 6. If it's uninkable, that means it's bad, right?
Yeah, bad card.
So then it has, whenever this creature is dealt damage, deal that much damage to chosen opposing character. So it's kind of instantly like a 2-for-1 to me. There's a lot of cards that will deal damage and take care of it. You have and then along came Zeus to deal 5 damage to it. Yep. But then Hydra's like, well, now I want to take out something else. But even if they don't take it out with spot removal and it's just a 1-for-1, it's like, all right, I'm going to attack your creature. And then, well, now that you dealt damage to me, I'm going to essentially deal more damage to another one of your creatures based upon how much damage was dealt to it.
Right.
And I do believe even if he is destroyed in the battle, does he still get the effect?
Yeah, you still get that effect. Yeah.
So it's like, Maui came in swinging.
Correct.
You're like, hey,
if that takes care of Hydra, yes, Hydra then takes care of something else. Yeah. So I love that card. Mm-hmm. I love that card. It forces your opponent to play around it.
Yeah.
They have to play around it. But Hydra's is amazing in a wide board. Mm-hmm. Is amazing in a very wide board because he grows exponentially. Again, just like the card. Like it makes perfect thematic sense. I love everything about that card. So, all right. So that is your number 7.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So my number 7 is Prince Eric, Expert Helmsman. We've just talked about 3 Ruby cards in a row.
They're good.
They are very good. They are very good. So Prince Eric, Expert Helmsman, unequal 4 cost, 2/2, Dreamborn Hero, Prince, super rare rarity. The ability Surprise Maneuver. When this character is banished, you may banish chosen character. It's just another amazing card in Ruby that crash into something and then take something else out. Mm-hmm. Okay. And again, you just need to be careful with how you use it. Because again, this is another one where 2 for 1. Like I'm always, if I have this out, I'm looking to 2 for 1. Yep. Now, if I'm going against Prince Eric, I'm paying very close attention to my play patterns, right? Because again, I don't want my opponent to 2 for 1 with Prince Eric. Yep. And again, any card that forces you to make certain decisions and certain play patterns, it's good. Like in my opinion, it's already very good. And Prince Eric does this.
Oh yeah.
So he does this in droves, if you ask me. So that's Prince Eric, Expert Helmsman. My number 7. Now we go to my number 6, which is Curse Merfolk, Ursula's handiwork. So Jim already talked about Curse Merfolk. Curse Merfolk was your number
9.
Number 9. Yep. Okay. When I heard that was number 9, I'm like, that's a little low for me because we've already talked about how powerful.
Who's this on the list?
Yeah, this card is. It's another one.
My list is a little different.
Yeah, a little bit different, but still This is a powerful card.
Super.
I think this card is going to go in a lot of different Emerald lists, particularly Emerald aggro lists. But again, another one that you drop this turn 1.
They're not happy.
You're not happy. Like again, I think you're just going to get off to such a fast start with Curse Merfolk. So this is such a good card in my opinion. So that's my number 6. Curse Merfolk. All right, Jim, what's your number 6?
My number 6 is the Prince Eric, Expert Helmsman.
Yep. So we're close. His 6, my 7.
Yeah. Cards, guys, it's phenomenal. The card's
it's
crazy.
So good.
Yeah, so, I mean, do I even have to add anything else to what Dan
said? Sick artwork.
Beautiful artwork, yeah. It looks amazing. I love the red lightning bolts in the background.
Yes, it's super cool.
I got
it's super
that going for me.
Yeah. I mean, 2/2 stat line is just, like, it's so versatile.
Yeah.
Because, again, it's like, okay, it's a low stat line for 4, but I don't care. Because, again, I can use this on offense. I can use it on defense. Oh, I can also quest with it for 2.
Yep.
It's so good. I love everything about the card. Love it. All right. That was your 6?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
What's your 5?
Then we have, and then along came Zeus.
And then along came Zeus.
It's a 4-cost song that deals 5 damage to chosen character or location.
Can you imagine if Ursula, Deceiver of All, could sing this?
It's a good thing she
It's
can't,
a good thing
Dan.
she can't, yes.
You just
correct.
be like, 10 damage.
Oh, that's...
I could take out anything in the game,
literally
essentially.
Anything.
Take out that 10.
And then it goes back on the bottom of the deck. Oh, my word.
Then it goes to the bottom of the deck.
That'd be
dumb. But yeah, I mean, the card is phenomenal. You're able to play this for free because, again, you're able to sing stuff. And 4 and 5 cost creatures really starts to be when you start making really big plays. And now you give them more versatility of being like, okay, it entered the battlefield. I'm able to, get off whatever effect. And now I'm just like, do I want to instantly take out one of your characters? I can now pay for this. I can sing it for free. I can then start building a board up as well. The card's super versatile. And I'm so happy so happy we have deal 5 damage.
Yeah, it's crazy. Potentially for free.
Yeah, potentially for free.
To be oh man, it just the whole song mechanic I love. I love the whole song mechanic. Just give me an opportunity to pay 0 for something, to pay 0 for an effect. It's insane. Mm-hmm. It is crazy. So all right, so that's your number 5.
Yes.
My number 5 is Madame Medusa, the boss. Already talked about how great of a card this is. 4/1, super rare. Love everything about this card. Madame Medusa was what number on your list? 8. All right. Yeah, I mean, this is too good of a card. It's way too good of a card. And then again, like I said, you pair this up with anything that debuffs or takes strength away from your opponent's stuff. Again, yeah, it costs more cards to do that, but again, this could hit anything. Like you're gonna be able to hit so much stuff, and this really does give credence to that strategy now. Because I remember from set 1 looking at Scar, and everyone's like, terrible card. It's not gonna see play. Yeah. Now with Madame Medusa, it's a potential for something like that to happen. Now, I don't think Scar is now an amazing card, because I think that card costs 5 or 6. Yeah, it's a lot, and I believe it's only an on-play ability as well, not on quest. Yeah. But you can still go with the Queen. That's really good.
The Queen one's real
good.
Oh my goodness.
Really good.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah. And that's repeatable, too. So, oh, wow. So, yeah, that's Madame Medusa, the boss, is my number 5. All right. My number 4, just talked about it, and then along came Zeus. That was your 5, right?
Yeah, it was 5.
Yeah. Again, another one we're pretty close on. I mean, everything Jim said is correct. It's a phenomenal
card. A very basic card, but it's so important to the game right now.
It is. It really is. And I think, and then along came Zeus is going to be a staple in steel decks. Yeah. It might be this might be a sideboard card. Like it might be a one that fluctuates depending on the meta. Yeah. But it's going to be one that will 100% always be in that fluctuation. Yeah. And we're probably going to see that with quite a few steel cards that are removal, right? But I think that 100% is, and then along came Zeus. So great, phenomenal card. My number 4. All right, Jim, what's your number 4?
All right, so my next 2 cards, okay, I'm going to let you guys know. They're super cool. I think they're going to be super fun, and I can't wait to see crazy stuff go, along with these cards. So, because then I'm sure everyone's like, oh man, we're in the top 5, we're in the top 4 now. These got to be some real crazy broken cards. Next.
This is Jim's list, all right? This is his list. He can do what he wants with it, all right? Even though I may not agree, it's okay.
All right, so I have John Silver, Greedy Treasure Seeker.
It's a good card. It is a very good card.
It's a very cool card, too. All right, he's a 3/3/1, inkable 3. Very important here. He's a Dreamborn villain, alien, pirate, captain.
Yes.
Very important. That's a lot of stuff.
That's a lot of things.
But then he also has, for each location you have in play, not just him being there, okay? Yep. Very important. This character gets +1 resist and +1 lore. So why I have this guy at 4, right, is we've had a lot of heartache with Tomatella in the past.
Yeah.
Because we just want it to be so good and kind of go crazy and have a bunch of items out. This is the exact same thing for me. I want to have out these locations
and the biggest problem we have had with Tomatella is he costs 8. He's super expensive.
This guy doesn't cost 8.
I know. Silver only costs 3.
Yeah.
He only costs 3. Yeah. So you can get him out turn 3, turn 4, leave him alone, and then location.
Yeah. And it's
and then those locations could potentially be gaining you incremental lore. Yeah. Passively.
And the cool thing about it is it's like a pseudo ward effect, because if you're just looking to deal 3 damage to him, well, I have resist plus, however much. Yeah. So if you don't have a way to just instantly get rid of him off the board, and not deal, X damage, he could probably just survive it and be like, oh, I'm a quest for 8. So for me, I just think it'd be so much fun, and I can't wait to see someone just tap or quest with John Silver for a ridiculous number. So So that's where I'm at.
All right, so that is Jim's number 4. Don't know how it made it on this list, but hey, it's his list. Jim can do what he wants.
It's my top 10
All right,
list.
now we are moving into the top 3.
These have to be like the most powerful cards in the entire game right now, right?
I mean, mine makes sense. Jim, what is your number 3?
Friends like me.
This is another one I'm like, oh my goodness.
Dan's like, really? Come on, dude. I talked it up so much in Sapphire.
He did.
Right.
He did.
It has to be on my list.
Talk about it some more here,
Okay.
Jim.
So, it is a 5-cost inkable song. All right. Even if it wasn't inkable, you might end up with one in your inkwell. Yeah. Potentially.
Because of this, yes.
So, it has the ability. Each player puts the top 3 cards of their deck into their inkwell face down and exerted. Why would I want to ramp my opponent? Because I'm not ramping them. I'm getting rid of good cards. That's what it is. They were about to top deck something to beat me. I'm like, nope, I'm getting rid of it. But yes, playing this with Steel with a whole new world. I just want to mill my opponent out. That's all I want to do. I want to make it to where you have no cards in deck, and I'm just like, all right, pass the turn. You don't have nothing? All right, I win. It's so ridiculous.
He's going to do it. This is another one. I want him to build the deck, and then we'll present it, and then we'll play it. And then I will... won't be happy that I'm milling out.
It's so ridiculous, but I just can't wait to do it. And I know I'm going to have a blast.
And that's all that matters, Jim, is that you have a blast.
Yeah.
All right, so that's Jim's number 3. My number 3.
A good card.
Is a very good card. This is Robin Hood, Champion of Sherwood.
Super good.
In my opinion, one of the best cards from the set.
Oh, yeah.
One of the best cards from the set. Robin Hood, Champion of Sherwood is an inkable 5-cost, 3/6/2 Floodborn hero. He has Shift 3, and one of the reasons I think this is one of the best cards from the set is there's a 1-drop Robin Hood.
Oh, yeah.
That most of the time, you're seeing this card on 3. Mm-hmm. A 3/6/2 that you're seeing on 3 that can immediately challenge or sing a 5-cost song or quest for 2.
And real quick, there was also a Robin Hood where you could exert him to deal 1 point of damage. Was that a 2-cost?
2-drop. Yep.
2-cost. So you have 1, 2, and then coming out on 3. So you have, more targets.
Yep, you got more targets.
That's phenomenal.
Exactly. And again, it's not why this card is very good. Yeah. Like, this card is very good, not necessarily in spite of that, but even disregarding those cards, this is still a phenomenal card.
Yeah.
2 abilities, Skilled Combatant. During your turn, whenever this character banishes another character in a challenge, gain 2 lore. We see this effect a lot in Steel, and it's good. It's very, very good.
Who would have thought control the board and progress your win con?
Correct. It's too good. And the good of others. When this character is banished in a challenge, you can draw a card. So it can replace itself in hand. Steel, getting another banger like we saw from Beast Tragic Hero from set 2.
Yep.
A phenomenal card. I mean, this does everything you want in a card. I don't care what color it is. This does everything you want. Yep. Progresses you towards your win condition on challenging, on banishing. Yep. And a very good stat line. The 3/6. 3/6. Like, that's going to stick around. That can stick around for quite a few turns. Yep. So, love everything about this card.
Yeah, card's phenomenal.
So, that is my number 3 Robin Hood, Champion of Sherwood. All right. My number 2... We're top 2, guys. Top two. My number 2, I think, is the correct position for this card. It's Jafar, Striking Illusionist. Jafar, we've already talked at length about this card. Yes, I didn't, when we were talking specifically in our Amethyst video, I was not waxing eloquently about this card. Mm-hmm. But it's too good. it's too good.
Dan's like, I want to put it in D tier. I'm like,
it's too good.
Any meta-defining card is instant.
And that's it. This is meta-defining. Just like Whole New World was meta-defining, is meta-defining, right?
All right, so as soon as we saw the card, right, A Whole New World, we were like, and this is set 1.
Set 1.
Jafar wasn't even out.
We didn't even know about this card.
Why would they print this? We instantly knew. Coming from Magic,
we knew.
Any wheel effect, don't have it in your game.
Don't
have it.
Don't. I mean, it's fun.
I'm also going to take advantage of that too with friends like me.
Exactly. Yeah. It's too good. Yeah. It's way too good.
Yeah. The deck's crazy.
It's crazy. I mean, the other thing is, why does this card have evasive? Like, that's why this card it's too good.
That's another reason.
It's so stinking good. It's got evasive shift. I mean, there's nothing that's bad about this card.
Yeah.
It's way too good.
Yeah,
so it's my number 2, Jafar, Striking Illusionist. In all honesty, guys, I'm probably going to be playing a Amethyst Steel deck with Jafar because it's too good. Yeah. So, that's my number 2, Jafar, Striking Illusionist.
Oh, man.
All right, Jim, what is your number 2? Please tell us.
My number 2 card is The Boss is on a Roll. Where was that for you?
That was number 9 for
Number
me.
9?
It was
Card's
number
way
9.
better than 9, dude.
It was my number 9.
Card's better than Jafar, I'm telling you right now. All right, so again,
talk it up.
Being able to look at the top 5 cards, you have so many ways to synergize with this, of whether it's drawing or be able to play it earlier with Cinderella, or be able to double the effect with Ursula, or just being able to cast this card for 3. I wouldn't even mind playing this for 3 cost.
Yeah.
At all. Because then you're also gaining.
You know what's coming. It's too good, man. It's way too good.
Even if you're like, oh, these 5 cards don't help me at all. Bottom all 5 of them.
This card is good at every single stage in the game.
Every single stage. Yeah. And for me, cards that are able to just get you that extra lore out of nowhere, and if your opponent doesn't know about it at all, super key.
Think about Merlin Goat.
Yeah.
How many times
have I won?
Well, how many times late in the game?
Anyone.
I win if they don't have Merlin Goat.
Yeah. And that's always what you're banking on.
That's always what you're banking on. If they cannot gain this lore immediately, how much do they have on board?
Yep.
Okay, they don't know about this card in hand. Oh, it's crazy.
Yeah, if your opponent either doesn't even think about you gaining the one possible lore, and now it's now it's not just Goat. Well, now it's Goat in this card.
Yeah.
You have more possibilities now, or even the book.
Because then too, right now you're like, okay, I'm counting ink.
Yeah.
How much do they have? What can they do? Yeah. And now with this, it's not about how much they have, because they can sing this now.
Yeah.
There's been so many times, and not just with this card, but even other songs where, oh shoot, I didn't even think that they could still play this card.
Yep.
They have everything's tapped. They don't have any ink.
Yeah.
Oh, crud. They just sang this song and just completely decimated now what I'm able to do.
Yep. It's just out of nowhere, it can end the game. Your opponent thinks like, I have one whole extra turn. Or it's, there's no way for them to be able to win this in the 2 turns. I know I'm good for a little bit. And sometimes those cards can just stack and stack on top of each other, and then the game's just over.
Yep.
These effects are super good, and I value them high, and the Goat didn't let me down.
Yeah.
As I don't know how many times I see someone win because they're just like, oh, Goat for the game.
Yeah. Yeah. Now this card doesn't affect the board, right? It doesn't affect the board now, which Goat does.
Yep.
Which Goat does, right? But it does. You're seeing a ton of cards.
Oh yeah.
You can see a lot of cards, and again, if you're playing this, it all depends on the board state of when you play. Do you play at the beginning of your turn to then see what you're going to draw? Or, okay, I've done everything. Now I play at the end of the turn to see what's coming next turn. Yeah. Like, it really all depends.
Yeah.
And again, a card that is so versatile is automatically valued so much higher.
Yeah.
So, all right, Jim's number 2, my number 9, but hey, it's on both of our lists. So, all right, the moment you have all been waiting for.
You want me to go first for one, or you want to go first for the number 1?
So here's the thing, guys. We talked about our lists beforehand because we wanted to know what was on the list. We have a consensus number 1 card. And I think this will come as a surprise to no one.
Pause the video. Scroll down a little bit. Leave a comment. Let us know which card you think.
Yeah, what card do you think it is? Let us know. Let us know.
There's only one card.
I think there's only one card. But I will say this card did not get an S rating in our set review, and I stand by it. I think I stand by it.
I honestly, I can go to S, because it's just like, if you don't take care of the card, I'm snowballing. I'm snowballing
for
the
one
game.
turn. Yeah.
Is it?
It's a value machine. Yeah. This card is a value machine. If you don't
answer it, I'm tempoing you out of the race.
And I think the only reason this card did not make it into S tier was the stat line. The stat line's it's so bad. It's very, very bad. If this even had one more strength, one more willpower.
Oh yeah.
It would be into S for me.
Get rid of the 2 attack, give it 1 willpower, GG.
Yep, I 100% agree. So that for me was why I kept it in A+ tier and not into S tier. It's an insane card. All right, if you haven't figured it out, the card is Ursula.
Oh yeah, true.
Deceiver of All. The card's Ursula, Deceiver of All. Inkable, 3 cost, 2/3/1 Dreamborn villain. Sorcerer, legendary rarity, has the ability What a Deal. Whenever this character sings a song, you may play that song again from your discard or for free, then put it on the bottom of your deck. So you play the card, she sings it, play it again, and then it goes on the bottom of your deck. She's a value machine. A value machine. Now, and the other thing too is, now that I think about it, right, we talk about how Jafar is a meta-defining card.
Yeah.
I think Ursula also is a meta-defining card as well. And I think for that, because again, you're going to play Emerald. I think there's people who are going to play Emerald and Emerald songs, anything with Emerald, because of Ursula.
Yeah, yeah.
And so that's why I say meta-defining, is she is going to bring forth decks because of how much of a value machine that she is.
Usually when I think of like meta-defining, it's essentially becoming probably like the #1 deck in the format, and everything else needs to kind of figure out a way to get rid of it. This isn't a big enough card to have to figure out a way to get rid of it.
Oh, because it's very easy to get rid of. It's super easy to get rid of.
Yeah, it's just like a ridiculous value, and I mean, there's so many cards that, again, can just get rid of it.
Right. And I think with Jafar, there's very easy. Jafar's telegraphed.
Yeah.
And it's easy to get rid of the cards that come before him.
Yeah.
But that still doesn't take away from his power. Yeah. And again, like I said, this was the reason she stayed in A for me.
Yeah.
Was this stat line? It's terrible. It's a bad stat line. Now, but again, 3 costs, it's too low because it's very easy to deal with.
It helps a lot of decks that are already a thing, and maybe some newer things are going to come out of the woodwork, but it really depends on what songs now are good, and Steel just works so well with with Ursula.
It does.
And we already had, Emerald Steel being a thing, but now it's just slot her into the deck, and, it just becomes more of a value mid-range deck. Yeah. So much more value.
She is a tempo machine, a value machine. Even if you're able to sing one song with her, it's, again, just pair her up with Strike a Good Match. It's insane.
Oh, yeah.
It's crazy. And you've set yourself up for the next couple turns very, very well.
And we talk about how good pairing this up with Steel is, and there's a really annoying card in Amber that I just really hate. It's that Simba Protective Cub.
Yeah.
And it's super annoying, and it's got the bodyguard to be able to protect your other stuff. Steel also now has the exact same card with the Kita. Yep. And being able to have this, and then Kita can come out the following turn, the same turn you're now singing a card, and you're like, all right, well, now I'm going to play Let the Storm Rage On, take out 2 of your cards. I'm going to draw 2. I have Kita for protection from your 1 extra card.
Yeah.
It's
Ursula with Let the Storm Rage On is crazy.
It's going to be very annoying. Very annoying.
It is. And it already is very annoying.
Yeah.
If
you haven't played against it, it's very annoying.
It's very annoying. But she's way too good.
Yeah.
Way too good, and I think that's the reason she's on both of our #1s. She's both our #1. So,
perfect.
With that being said, we're going to kick it to you all. What do you all think? Do you agree with our list? Do you agree with Jim's list? Hey, it's his list. He can do with it what he wants, all right?
Yeah.
Just like I can do what I want with my list as well. But be sure to let us know what you all think down below in the comments. Did we get that? I think, in all honesty, I think we hit the nail on the head with #1. think we hit the nail on the head with number 1. Will be interesting to see in a couple months from now how our reviews, how our top 10 list is going to pan out with the metagame. And yeah, I'm really interested to see that. But again, don't forget, let us know down below what you all think of our list. And hey, do you enjoy this kind of content? If you do, help us out. It would really help us out if you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel and turn on those bell notifications, especially if you like Disney Lorcana and Disney Lorcana content, so you can be notified when we release more Lorcana content in the future. With that being said, again, thanks everybody for hanging out with us through this review season of Into the Inklands. And now again, we're going to get some gameplay content and we're going to start building some decks. I've already challenged Jim to build some decks. I'm gonna be building some decks as well, and then we're gonna bring those to the table and play them all for you so you can get some Into the Inklands action. So thanks everybody for hanging out with us again, and we will catch you in the next Disney Lorcana video. See you everybody.
Take care.